This is a 2-minute tech tip with the Big Tech Coach. Google is always introducing new features, and some of them are really helpful. In today's tech tip, we're going to discuss how to limit the data that can be entered into a Google Sheet. This is helpful if you want to make sure that your data is all formatted the same way. You don't have to worry about capitalization or different versions of the same answer. You can kind of force the user to select from only certain things. So for this common data analysis sheet, in this particular column, I'm looking for what a user is able to mark for these students, that they can count objects to 5, and maybe they are recording a number here. So I'm actually going to select this whole column, and I'm going to go to Data, and then Data Validation. And just to start over, I'm going to do Remove Validation because there was already some here. So we'll do that again. Selected, Data, Data Validation, and you see it's got my cell range here, and I can force it to do a couple of things here. I can have it only take things that are from a range, a list of items in a range. I can write a list of items. I can make it be a number, certain text, date, or I can make it a checkbox. So for this one, I want to make sure that they enter a number. So I'm going to have number, and I don't care what the number is. I just want them to measure that it is actually a number. So I'm actually going to do greater than or equal to, and surprisingly enough, I'm going to do 0 because I just want them to make sure that it is a number. And when they enter something that's invalid, I can either show a warning or I can reject the input, not let them enter something else. So that if I have number and they try to type in the word TWO, it will reject that input. So that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to force them to do a number, but I am going to let them see the validation help text so that they know what is expected here, and it tells them that. So now I'm going to click Save, and now when I go here as data input, it's looking for a number. It gives me the tip there for all of these, and if I try to enter numbers, it's going to work perfectly. It doesn't matter what number I put. But if I try to spell out the number, it's going to pop up a message that says, no way, this has to be a number. So that's one type of validation. You can do a number. On these, and this particular spreadsheet, this is a measure of whether they can recognize the letter C and the correct sound. So for all of these, this is a kindergarten example. So for all of these, it's just recognizing whether they, or measuring whether they can recognize these letters. So this is actually just kind of a simple yes, no. So I'm actually going to select all of these others all the way across, and again go to Data, Data Validation, except this time I'm going to select a list of items, and I just enter my items here separated by a comma. So yes, comma, no, and it's going to show them in a list. I can show a warning. Again, I'll reject input. I probably don't need help text here because yes, no is pretty obvious. And I'm going to click Save. And now when I'm entering my data for one of these students, you can see that I just get to select from yes and no. And the reason this is helpful is this ensures that the answer is always the same. My data is going to be clean. It's always going to be a yes or a no. So that's data validation. Simply go to Data, Data Validation, and you can choose from several of these options here. So that's a great way to make sure that your data is entered in the particular format you want it, which gives you great data results. This has been a 2-minute tech tip with me, Keith George, the Big Tech Coach. Be sure to follow me on Twitter.